All right, we've discussed a bunch about the sports card market in recent videos here on the channel. However, I want to completely pivot and talk about Pokemon, which I've alluded to a few times in some of those other sports card videos. However, I want to primarily focus on Pokemon in this video because as negative as I've been speaking about sports cards in terms of there's no hype, there's no buzz, Pokemon, although it's in its own complete different category, does have some of its own problems itself, but none near like sports cards do. Actually, in my opinion, Pokemon's in a really, really good spot right now, all things considered, with the performance of Surging Sparks, with Prismatic Evolutions on the horizon, with Blooming Waters on the horizon, with 151 packs. Pokemon's in a really, really good spot. However, I do want to tell you to proceed with caution, especially as I portray the information in this video, the facts and the details and the numbers throughout the course of this video, for when you end the video and make your own purchasing decisions, your own buying, selling, or trading decisions afterwards. So let me bring up, let's see, I switched things around a little bit. Okay, so the screen's right here that I'm going to be referring to, instead of way over there, is the Pikachu Van Gogh Pikachu Gray Felt Hat. This was a very popular card when it first came out, and I want to highlight this card because it was through the roof in terms of value. However, we can definitely see here how it was around anywhere from like $80 to $100, and it has ticked back up. This is a raw copy. Let's look at a PSA 10. Over the course of 3 months, it is absolutely trickled back up at a rate of 86% growth over 3 months. Remember, this was a card that was blossoming all over the world, literally all over the world, and then it came to a screeching halt and kind of sort of a crash in a way. And you can see here, again, even a 9 is doing the same thing what a Raw was doing, but even the 9 has dramatically gone up at a rate of 78%. Now, this is just one example. The overarching theme I want this video to show is that Pokemon is in a good spot right now, of course, but it's also a very good buy as well. I mean, unlike sports card market videos that we've done, we've seen sports cards start at numbers way over here and then trickle all the way down to the low numbers at a rate growth of negative 77, 78% compared to this PSA 9 Pikachu Van Gogh, which is at a positive 78. However, there is some concerns when you look at it this way. Of course, if you're buying it early on and you're selling it later on, that's obviously nothing but positive, and that's nothing but profit, ROI, return on investment. But you do need to proceed with caution where someone like you or me or anyone buys it. You don't want to be that person that buys it at the height of the market. I mean, we've seen a lot of sales peak, and you just don't want to be the one that sells it at the peak, buys it at the peak, excuse me. You want to be the one that sells it at the peak. So, Pikachu, get it? Like, you don't want to be this guy buying it for $437. Now, if money is no factor to you, you don't care, it's going in your collection, you really just don't care about the dollar sign, you just want the card, fine. There's, of course, people out there that have that kind of mindset, but a lot of people probably watching this video and other videos here on the Murph's Card Town YouTube channel probably don't just have $400 to throw around, just throw in your collection. A lot of us might be business savvy, financially savvy, money smart maybe, or at least financially conscious, right? You want to be the guy that buys it at the dippity dip 194.59, and then if you do go to sell it, you want to sell it for somewhere here in the 4. Now, as I talked about dip in a previous video talking about sports cards, you don't want to buy it at a fraudulent dip. Like, you don't want to buy it here at 194 and then it continues to crash down. So there is a little bit of caution when looking for a dip. It's very hard to gauge, very tough to judge. You know, day trading, stocks, it's a very difficult game to play. A lot of people are very profitable. A lot of people lose a lot of money. Sports cards and Pokemon cards alike have really kind of formulated into stocks, especially day trading, you know, at this kind of volatility when you have a pop of 31,000. My God, what's a 9? Holy crap. The 9 is less than the 10. Holy crap. I mean, of course, you'd like to buy it at the $76 here. Here's another dip right here at 120. You just don't want to be buying it at the 160s and 150s. So this is a very popular card that I want to talk about because this market has been all over the place. And if I had the paid version of Card Ladder, I'd be able to show you that these prices were even lower 6 months ago. But let's carry on with our next example, and this is the talk of town right now, is the Pikachu EX from Surging Sparks. This card has taken the Pokemon community and the Pokemon card hobby by storm. The set just came out not that long ago. The official release was November 8th. People obviously had hands to it early somehow, some way, whatever, doesn't matter. And you were able to see a lot of the early sales in the upper twos, 298, low threes, mid threes, and of course it has blossomed up to what it currently is, which is a $400 to $500 plus card. This is just the raw card right here. And over the course of its lifespan of about a month and a half, let's call it, it's up almost 31% for a $106 real change. Let's look at the 10 here. The 10. This is something I want to warn people. Look at the 10. Look at these numbers. Do I need to make it bigger? Hold on, let me cover myself. Let's look at this number real quick. A lot of people want to buy this card, of course, in a PSA 10. Everybody wants a damn PSA 10. We got to ask ourselves, is this price, this call it $2,500 price tag, very sustainable for a ultra modern Pokemon card? Not even the Umbreon is doing this kind of numbers. The Moonbreon, I should say. And what I like to say is proceed with caution. Chances are this card will be cheaper 3 to 6, maybe even a year from now. 3 to 6 months, a year from now. Maybe it's not, but as we can see the trends here, it is trending down. You don't want to be the person that buys it for $2,750 and next thing you know it's a $1,250 card. I just don't think ultra modern Pokemon cards are sustainable to that point. Now, of course, you could point to the Moonbreon, and I did not plan to bring up the Moonbreon, Umbreon, but I will just because we're talking about it. Let's just look at a PSA 10 real quick. And something like that has gone up over time. But let's not forget, 6 months ago, this was a card that was doing more than $2,000. And of course, it's on its way back up to that point. But we also have to consider that this card is now 3 years old, almost 4 years old. And we could even look at PSA 9s of this card. They're doing tremendously well. But look at this bottomed out right here, this dip. This is a true dip. But again, this card was well over $1,000, kind of where it's at now, but this was months ago. So the volatility of Pokemon cards is tremendously high, and it's something that we need to be very cautious of. You know, while we're here, let's just look at the raw. $800 dips into the $600 for a raw. Of course, that's going to be very condition dependent, but now you can see them doing well over $1,000 pretty consistently with a bunch of dips in between. Yeah, every other sale, it's either like north of 1,000 or well under 1,000. So again, be very, very careful and cautious when buying ultramodern Pokemon cards. And we're seeing this dip tremendously hard, tremendously. And I told people, and I'm still telling people, I'm like, this is unsustainable for this kind of a card. Not because the card is overrated, which honestly, in my opinion, I think it is. Card from a set that came out 2 months before Prismatic Evolutions, which is arguably going to be one of, if not the most popular Pokemon set in modern time. Everybody is looking forward to the set. Everybody under the moon, in the sky, in the sun, in the stars, in the galaxy is looking forward to Prismatic Evolution, and I strongly believe people are going to be selling this card like Pikachu and others to help fund their purchases of Prismatic Evolution, because pre-orders on TCG Player are already going crazy. They're already, for the ETBs at least, are like $90, which is absolutely absurd. Let's take another quick look at another Surging Sparks card. This is the Latias EX right here. You can see that was this raw, right? This is raw 130. A little over 200, kind of peaked, dipped back down to the 180s and trending back upwards. Take a look at PSA 10, and there's only a couple sales of them. Pop 22. Again, the set just came out not even a month ago, so we're not going to see a lot here, but I definitely don't think it's a $1,000 card. Let's just ask ourselves, guys, is this Latias EX card right here really a $1,000 card? I don't think so, and I'm sure you don't think so either. Moving along, we got the Charizard EX, and look at this insane low right here. This is for a raw copy. Let's just take a look at the PSA 10s while we're here. Look at how low this card is. And then this set just boomed, all of 151. And I'll get to the UPC value and the charts and the numbers of the 151 UPCs in a second. That's a lot more eye-opening than what we're talking about here. And what we're talking about here is extremely eye-opening. But look at, you got a PSA 10 of this Charizard right here. this Charizard right here, special illustration rare, for just over $300, not even $400, and then just it trickles up, it trickles up, it trickles up, and now boom, you can't touch it from less than $600. You know, a couple in the fives, and you can even see that it's kind of correcting itself, especially with the announcement of Blooming Waters. It is kind of dipping back down, but it's not going to come back down towards the $300 value. Of course, 151 is an insane set that is going absolutely crazy right now. And with the announcement of Blooming Waters with 151 packs, I would expect to see more dips in this Charizard EX and in the Pikachus and the Blastoise and the Bulbasaurs and just all the cards that we're chasing from the set to just correct itself. And I think that's why Pokemon is coming out with Blooming Waters, is so that instead of people spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on the graded singles or just the singles themselves, take that money and spend it on our product, right? Why not? I mean, they had 2 or 3 reprints in Japanese. Why not have one in here in the States? Now, of course, over the course of 3 months, it's gone up almost 75%. For a $231 real change. That is absolutely crazy, to say the very least. And sticking with Charizard, I will talk about a vintage one, 1999 base set, unlimited, not first edition, because that is in a whole nother galaxy. Charizard is a PSA 9. It's just not a lot of 10s to go off of, and plus it's $11,000 card, $11,000 card. So let's talk about one that's a little bit more realistic over the course of 3 months. It's not even gone up 5%, not even up $50. Again, are you going to buy a card for almost $1,100? And if you're buying it on eBay, you're paying sales tax and shipping. Plus, you don't want to be the one that sells it for $1,100, where you're probably walking away with less than $1,000. And then if you did buy it for close to $1,100, you're selling it for $1,144 after taxes, after fees. You're walking away with probably close, if not less than $1,000. So the vintage aspect, and again, this is one card here, but the vintage side of Pokemon is extremely stable. And of course, growth is growth. But when we speak of investments, you have to have a long-term perspective. You can't just have a 1-month outlook, because if we have a 1-month card with $1,000 and it's $1,144, sure, that's good profit. It's almost $150 if you bought it on November 1st and you're selling it on December 1st. But if you're selling it on eBay, chances are you're walking away with less than $1,000 after taxes and fees. And if you sell it in person, you're probably not going to get top dollar for it in person, because someone's going to probably want 70, 80, 60% or something on the car so they can go sell it down the road. So it's not black and white. We can't take these numbers as gospel. Of course, we want to see them in the green nonetheless, but we just have to peel back the curtain a little bit more, peel the onion a little bit more, and just look at the fine details of what we're presented with in terms of these numbers. So again, while we're talking about Charizard, I kind of wanted to bring this up because it's not just ultra modern Pokemon or modern Pokemon, it's also vintage too. All right, I've talked a lot in this video about the values of this, the values of that, the dips, the ups, the downs, the buy nows, the sell laters, the numbers and all that stuff. And you're probably wondering, if you're still here in the video, thank you so much. Like the video, comment down below. Let me know you got to this point. Where are we? 14, 15 minutes into this video. Let me know if you got to this point. I'd love to give you a shout out if you made it to this point in the video, because I'm sure a lot of people that may be clueless on the Pokemon market, maybe they're not into Pokemon, or maybe I just confused them early on, probably clicked away. But if you're still here, let me know, smash the thumbs up button, leave a comment, I'll give you a shout out, because there is so much to peel back with Pokemon. It's very similar to sports, but it's also very different in a lot of ways. And with Pokemon, I've been talking about how the numbers for this, the numbers for that, but I really want to mention how profitable it is. And we've seen how profitable it is. And of course, it depends on when you get into it. You don't want to buy it at the top, because there could not be any room for it to grow for you to make money. So it's of course going to depend on where you bought it at. But according to all the charts that we've been looking at, if you get it at the right time, there's a lot of room to be made on it. There's a lot of profit, a lot of ROI. Even if you have to sell it on eBay, even if you're getting an eBay cut taken out of you, there's still a lot of profit to be made in a lot of this Pokemon stuff. And now, even if you sell it in person for 90, 85%, there is profit to be made. And this is something we cannot say with sports cards. All right, so let's bring Surging Sparks into the mix here. The booster box itself. Right now, you could buy it on TCG Player for $202 with $10 shipping, not including taxes. And look at this chart right here. I mean, it was pre-selling for $150, and then when it came out, actually no, when did it didn't come out until here, and it was already there. But a lot of pre-orders, you could have probably found them in the 110s, 120s, 130s even. I know for Murph's Card Town, we were pre-selling them at 125. Obviously sold a good amount. Then when it came out, we were around the 150, which is pretty much on par, even less than what they were doing once the official release date came and went. But now they're over $200. Now, of course, you don't want to buy the box at $200 and hope that there's still room to be made on the other side. Well, there could be. But circling back to our Pikachu special illustration rare discussion, Prismatic Evolution is on the horizon, and I strongly do believe people are going to be fire sailing this stuff in order to fund Prismatic Evolution. And it's going to be the same thing. Prismatic Evolution is going to be crazy expensive, and then people are going to be selling that stuff to fund Blooming Waters. And then they're going to have Blooming Waters, and they're going to sell that for super cheap so they can buy the Team Rocket stuff. I mean, it's just copy and paste, rinse and repeat over and over and over again. And hopefully this video is educational, is shedding some light. I'm trying to be positive because there is money to be made. Look at this. Look at this. You got to buy it for $115 and you could sell it for $200. Now, TCG Player is bottom dollar, so we'll scroll down and we'll see other prices that are higher than what this is being asked for. Someone's asking $202 for it. They're trying to be the lowest. As we can see here, this is where a lot of people are at, the 210, the 215 number. I would say that's probably more market based. The list median here is 225, so it does appear that there might be a little bit more room for it to grow. But how much more? Especially in the short term. If you're buying this box and you're going to hold it for 5 years, probably going to be like a $500-$600 box in 5 years. How many people are willing to wait 5-6 years when there's going to be so many more other sets to come out? Not just the three I mentioned, Prismatic Evolution, Blooming Waters, and Team Rocket. There's going to be other core sets that are going to come out. There's going to be other premium collections that are going to come out, and a lot of other subsets and half sets that come out that people are going to want to buy and rip and fund. So again, short term, I think the window's gone on a lot of this stuff, if not everything we've talked about in this video. But long term, possibly. You just don't want to be that person that buys it at its height. But if you were able to get it early on, even on release day for $150, $160, there's still a good profit margin to be made there. All right, so we've talked about a bunch of stuff, and I alluded to the 151 UPC, the Ultra Premium Collection. And I want to wrap up this video, and this is going to be my last example, is with this 151 UPC. So let me bring it back in here into the shot. Look at this, $230 right now, shipping included, so that's a positive, but you still got to pay taxes, and sometimes shipping might not be included. $230 for this product. Do we remember a year ago, roughly a year ago this time? This box was under $100. Target was selling them for $90 to $100. People on TCG Player were selling them for like $75. People could not give away this product. Do I think that this was mass produced? Probably a little bit. But here we are, a year plus from its initial release, and it is selling for almost, if not double, MSRP, which was $120. I mean, we're just about there. And again, this is bottom dollar, so let's see, what are other people asking? $225, $230, $230, $225, $15 shipping, $10 shipping. So I'll never forget. There was a gentleman that came in the shop, and he was like, oh, you're sitting on those. You're stuck with those. You're going to be with those for a long period of time. And you know what? I was for a little bit. But one thing I noticed really quickly is sealed Pokemon specifically appreciates very well. And this is a perfect example. Now, are we still within the window of being able to buy it to sell it for a profit? Short term, like with everything else, probably not. But long term, I don't know. Especially on this one, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure with this one, especially with Blooming Waters being released. I can see this product dipping maybe 20%, 25%. But a year from now, what is this going to look like? If they don't reprint or re-release the UPCs, what is this going to look like a year from now? What's it going to look like 5 years from now? But we got to ask ourselves, who's going to have the patience to buy it and hold it for 5 years? I think 5 years, if they don't do anything like this, no more Blooming Waters or no other reprints, this might be a $400 box. Dare I say $500 box? I mean, the ceiling's endless with this product because of what it is. The original 151 Pokemon, the nostalgia, the awesome artwork. I mean, we already covered the Charizard SAR in this video. There's just so much meat on this bone. The playmat, the sleeves, the promos, the packs themselves, the amount of packs. This is Pokemon 151's best product here in the States. The UPC with 18 packs inside. Again, I'll never forget. People are just like, oh, it's overprinted, it's mass produced. Oh, its market's crashing, especially down in this range. Let me make this bigger so you can see the numbers a little bit better. Like, this is what it once was doing. This is what it was once doing right here. And now look where it's at. All the way up here. Isn't that crazy? I mean, to me, that's just absolutely nuts. But I know this was a longer video, guys, and I really appreciate you sitting through the whole thing, watching it. Hopefully you have a couple comments, a couple thoughts you want to mention down in the comment section below. If you agree with me, let me know on what. If you disagree with me, let me know on what. But my ultimate point in this video, and hopefully you're able to take away from this video, is that Pokemon is extremely profitable. And of course, there's a caveat, and there's going to be variables left and right all over the place. It depends on when and what you're able to get into it for and what you're able to sell it for at a certain point. But the overarching point is Pokemon is profitable. And I've made a couple sport market videos. Again, I wanted to change things up and talk about Pokemon in this video. But we've seen time and time again with a bunch of different athletes that it's just not the case with sports cards. It's not profitable at the current moment. You aren't able to buy something and flip it short term for a good profit, whereas you've been able to do it with the Pokemon stuff. Now, might we be a little bit past that window? And it's going to depend on the card and the product, but overall, Pokemon's extremely profitable right now. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say go out and start your own Pokemon business. You're going to need to do a little bit more research on that, but all in all, Pokemon's in a really good spot with the current stuff that's out, with the current cards that are out, and the current products that are coming out in the next month, 2, 3, 4 months down the road. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Again, thank you so much. Like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome videos like this. I would definitely appreciate it. Check out the channel membership program to see awesome new exclusive videos that the public don't get to see, like this one early, and like others on the channel that they just simply don't get to see. Check out the channel membership program. Link to it in the description. But like I said, that will wrap it up for this video. If you enjoyed this video, I've queued up an excellent one right there for you guys. So hopefully I'll see you in that one.